and girls, we've been spending a few weeks finding out the answer to this question. Who does God say I am? Who does God say you are? Well, today we're going to discover that whether we feel weak or strong, we are strong with God.
Yes, we are going to be finding out about a man named Gideon, a man in the Bible who didn't feel so strong. But God called him a mighty hero because we are strong with God. And we can all be mighty heroes when we partner up with God's strength. So today, let's find out more in the Bible, the true story of God's love and power. You can follow along with us in the book of Judges, chapters 6 and 7. Now, later in the story, we're going to need a tower of blocks. So I invite you to grab some blocks. It can be any kind. We have some cardboard blocks here, but you can also use Jenga blocks. You could use Legos, anything that you have, and build a block tower. So, Theo, let's see if we can get this together. We have to make a tower, and one more. There we go. We have, hopefully it won't fall down while we're talking. So we're going to have that, and we'll use that in just a minute. And then we're also going to need some enemies. So you can draw some pictures on a piece of paper and put them around, or you can grab some of your toy action figures or toys to be some enemies. Okay?
Shh! We need to be very quiet. Look around us. Do you see them? We're surrounded by enemies.
Yes, that's what was going on when Gideon, one of God's people, was alive. Let's listen to this. In Judges 6, verses 3 through 6, it says, "Whenever the Israelites planted seeds, the Midianites, the Amalekites, and other Easterners would invade. They would set up camp against the Israelites and destroy the land's crops as far as Gaza, leaving nothing to keep Israel alive, not even sheep, oxen, or donkeys. They would invade with their herds and tents, coming like a swarm of locusts, so that no one could count them or their camels. They came into the land to destroy it. So Israel became very weak on account of Midian, and the Israelites cried out to the Lord."
Those poor Israelites, their enemies were destroying all their food. They had nothing to eat. So they had to be very quiet and sneaky when they did have food. Gideon did that by hiding in a wine press to prepare his grain. Mrs. Joy, what's a wine press?
Well, a wine press is basically a big hole in the ground. Boys and girls, if you'd like to pretend along with us, you can make a wine press out of chairs and pillows and then hunker down inside. But remember to be very quiet so the Midianites don't find you. Then the Lord's messenger came and sat under the oak at Ophrah that belonged to Joash the Abiezrite. His son Gideon was threshing wheat in a wine press to hide it from the Midianites. So Thea, you pretend that you're Gideon threshing the wheat. Now, threshing the wheat means that you're loosening up the edible parts or the grain so it falls away from the part that you can't eat. Boys and girls, you can pretend that a piece of paper is the wheat, and you can thresh it by tearing it into little pieces, but tear it slowly so it doesn't make very much noise. Now, while Gideon was threshing wheat, an angel appeared to him and said, "Mighty hero, the Lord is with you."
Why would the angel call Gideon a mighty hero? I mean, I'm hiding in a wine press.
Well, let's listen and see. The angel went on to say this, "You have strength, so go and rescue Israel from the power of Midian. Am I not personally sending you?" So imagine you are Gideon, scared of the enemies and hiding in a wine press. What would you say to the angel?
Gideon responded just like some of you probably would think. "With all due respect, my lord, how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I'm the youngest in my household."
Well, after a little more convincing, Gideon reluctantly agreed to go. Gideon wasn't strong, but the angel had called him a mighty hero, and God had called him to this job because we are strong with God. The first thing that Gideon had to do before he could battle the enemies was to help the people turn back to God. And that meant destroying some of the things that they were using to worship fake gods called Asherah poles. Yep, that's what we're using the tower for. Now, our friend Gideon didn't want the people in the town to see him doing this and get mad. So he waited until it was dark out. And then, yeah, you're right, he would do it kind of sneakily.
Oh man, that made a lot of noise.
I know. Well, Gideon, you can see, was still feeling weak and scared. But then something happened that changed everything. In Judges 6, verse 34, we find that the Lord's Spirit came over Gideon, and he sounded the horn and summoned the Abiezrites to follow him.
Do, 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 do! To arms! To arms! Follow me, man! Let's go!
Wow! The Spirit of the Lord came on Gideon, and he was no longer scared or weak because we are strong with God. Just listen to how Gideon behaves now. It's pretty different than what we've seen so far. Now, what did Gideon do next?
What did he do next? He went to battle! And he didn't do it in a scaredy cat way. He started out with 32,000 men ready to fight. Let's go, mighty warriors!
But then God gave Gideon instructions. In Judges 7, verses 2 and 3, it says, the Lord said to Gideon, you have too many people on your side. If I were to hand Midian over to them, the Israelites might claim credit for themselves rather than for me, thinking we saved ourselves. So now announce in the people's hearing that anyone who is afraid or unsteady may return home from Gideon's mountain. And at this, 22,000 people went home, and 10,000 were left.
Well, all the scaredy cats went home, but Gideon wasn't one of them. That's because we are strong with God, and Gideon had God's strength at work in him.
That's right, but God still thought the army was too big. So God gave Gideon another test, how people drank water.
Yep, God told Gideon to take the army down to get a drink. And they didn't have any cups handy, so their test was how they drank water from the spring. And in the end, only 300 drank the right way. So their army went from 32,000 to 300.
That's a small army. Was Gideon scared?
Nope. He knew that we are strong with God. So he went to battle, and God gave Gideon's army victory. They blew loud horns, smashed jars loudly, and chanted, for the Lord and for Gideon! Do, 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 do! Hey, boys and girls, let's make horn sounds and shout as we defeat these enemies. Do, 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 do! For the Lord and for Gideon!
Wow, Gideon really seems different from the beginning of our story. What differences did you notice in Gideon before he had the Spirit of God and after? What do you think, Theo?
Well, Gideon started out weak and afraid. He didn't seem like the kind of guy who could lead a small army to victory. But then the angel called him a mighty hero because he knew what Gideon could do with God's strength. No matter how weak or scared we may feel, we are strong with God.
That's right, Theo. We are strong with God. When we're walking with God and His strength is working in us and through us, we are truly strong. We have the strength to resist temptations, to forgive others, and to follow God more closely. We can do things on our own, but we are strong with God.